With Frostpunk 2 only a month away, it only feels right to get in the society survival mood with the recent sale on the original. But if you're anything like me, this game is hard and time consuming. I spent 4 or 5 hours on my best run just to realize how terribly unprepared I was for the frigid hibernation. Then I went on vacation for a week and forgot my laptop charger, so I couldn't attempt anymore. But during that week I did some post-London probing and figured out the best takeaways on how to survive the storm. And what do you know, it worked. So now from me to you, here are 10 tips to survive in Frostpunk. Number 1. Everyone should always be working. When your work hour starts, take your game out of 3 times speed to ensure you have the max efficiency. It's important to keep everyone working so they aren't just eating our mediocre food without progressing our city. You should also craft some prosthetics to get your amputees back in the game, and heal all your sick people while you're at it. Number 2. Insulation is better than a generator. Well, what I mean is, insulation is a more valuable upgrade in the early game than a generator, because you won't have to use more coal to make up for it. It allows passive heating and protection from the cold, which can be comboed with steam hubs to ensure warm, working, and living environments. Another good thing is that these insulation upgrades are usually on the vital buildings like cookhouses, hothouses, infirmary, and homes, so you get that bonus as well. Number 3. Use extra workshops. Quick research is important really early in the game and really late in the game. Typically in my runs, I try to get as much research for resources as I can within the first 2 weeks. I usually can get most of my outposts, coal thumpers, large resource depots, etc., as I need to deal with the influx of survivors and the plummeting temperatures. This is only possible because of the workshops I use. I like to go for 2 at the start and always have 5 engineers working each one, of course, and then add 1 every time you get more survivors. I usually find 5 or 6 is all I need, and I can research everything before the storm hits. Obviously, you don't have to research everything, and you can get your engineers back to work quicker, but it's an option. Number 4. Resources. Like I was saying, I like to rush research my resources in the early game. I usually try to research in the order of wood, coal, steel, so that I can have wood's early game pressure to build everything. Plus, it feels like the wood piles run out of stock before anything else. Try to take these up to Steam tools before moving on to researching other things like factories or outpost depots. Then, since typically I'm running out of wood storage, I try to get a large resource depot unlocked. Of course, everything is situational, but try different resource generators out, different speeds of rushing research, and see what works for you. Side note, on day 1, consider building gathering posts for the resource piles in the crater. These will keep your people warm and also gather materials quicker. Gathering posts are your best friend. Number 5. Start an easy, work your way up. This one is more for the people who are new to games like this, such as myself. When I first started, I was super overwhelmed and didn't know what approach to take, so I played the easiest difficulty. Easy mode is very similar to the main game, with the biggest difference I saw was you gained more resources and people were less likely to be injured from some random workplace problem. But playing easy mode showed me kind of what path I should follow. For example, I knew that I should craft my resource gatherers quick to get building materials, but also I would need a lot of storage, since one of my problems in easy mode was that I had wall drills running when my wood was full. It's things like this where you can kind of get an idea of what you need to do and look out for when increasing your difficulty. I then played a medium game, and while it was harder, I understood my objective, and each day, what I could or couldn't sacrifice, and I absolutely killed it. So, number 6, extended shifts. This one is really simple, but you should absolutely sign extended shift as soon as possible. For me, this is the second law I sign, only limited by the fact that you have to sign emergency shift first. Seriously though, turn this on every workplace. It doesn't really affect much other than your discontent will rise, but as soon as you turn off the extended shift, it drops. So it comes down to a game of monitoring discontent, but abuse this always. Number 7. Care for your city before you worry about the stormgoers. Survivors are your best friend because you can't get a bigger workforce otherwise. The game lasts 40 days, where production is not possible, so you have to rely solely on your scouts and people that venture into your city. But there seems to come a point in all of my games where I run out of jobs for people to work. This means they aren't adding to my city, but they are eating my food. Now in easy and medium difficulty this isn't a problem, but in harder modes this is devastating. You never want idle people, so take note of who you're letting in and what ailments they have. They're going to take up hospital beds, prosthetics, food, space for new housing, and if you don't have the resource for them and they pass away, your discontent will skyrocket and hope will fall. So send them back into the storm and wish them the best. Number 8. Build at night. Building anything takes workers, and usually takes workers from their jobs. but you can avoid them leaving their jobs if you wait until every shift is done. Nighttime is the best time you can build, so you can keep maximum efficiency at your workplaces. Just be sure not to overwork your citizens, otherwise they could miss the chance to eat and starve to death. Number 9. Pause at any shift change. Unless you are Constantine himself, building the
Rome in a day.
or playing survivor mode, use the pause button a lot. Pausing at your shift changes will allow you time to think and switch your brain around. Work mode, build mode, work mode, build mode. Moving too fast can muddy the waters and you will make mistakes. I pause even more than this, basically at every new law, new research, and on shift changes. But it helps me keep my goals at the forefront of my mind and survive through the snow. Just like you parents used to say, pause the game. Luckily this one isn't online. Number 10. Health is wealth. Keeping people alive and working is one of the most important things you can do for your city. Not only will your discontent and hope get screwed up with each death, even more if it's a child, it will take people out of your workforce. Think of it this way. Let's say every doctor at an infirmary got sick and died. Who would heal your people? Let's say it happened at your cookhouses. Who would feed your people? These deaths may seem minuscule at the surface level, but they grow into much bigger problems. Doctors dying leaves sick people untreated. Sick people untreated means jobs aren't getting completed. Jobs not getting completed means resources depleted. Resources depleted means you have been defeated. I know, I'm trying to be funny, but seriously, keep people healthy. Heat and food should deal with a majority, but open infirmaries is a plan B. It's worth treating the sick. That's it for this video, but if you want more tips for Frostpunk, Frostpunk 2, or any other game, let me know in the comments below. Enjoy your game, and goodbye guys.